Hello, everybody. Hope that all you can hear me and see me. And welcome to another masterclass by Taste of Vino, Food and Wine Masterclass with myself, Mario Sehic. And hope all of you have a little bit of tapas like food, like I have in front of me. You can have a tiny look. I have some light cheese, some hard cheese, smoked salmon, some apple, and some chorizo. But you can pretty much have whatever you like. So food and wine, wine and food. That's really a huge topic, but it's kind of fairly new. Food and wine matching came about let's say in early 80s, seriously to be considered. And basically what happened is I just lost the pictures, so have a look. Let's have a look where it is. Hang on a second. Okay, I just need to come back where I was. Okay, so it's as I was mentioning, it's fairly new. It started in early 80s, fairly recently, and then we saw the emergence of so-called sommeliers. Sommeliers are now today very famous people. They do everything except what they're supposed to do, and they train to be kind of wine waiters, to recommend best wine and food matches, to work closely with chefs, to know what's cooking in the kitchen, and also to know a great deal about wine, where it comes from, all about that. And then to be able, their main job would be to able to recommend best match. But then sommeliers are today really, really something else. They are like movie stars. I'm sommelier too, but I don't do that kind of work. So can wine spoil food? Can food spoil wine? I do believe it can, but it's really, really very subjective, very personal. Pretty much comes down to whatever you like. You match with any wine and any food that you prefer. But in my view, some things are working better than the other. You can eat anything you like with wine, any wine you like, and you will survive, you will stay alive, that's for sure. But then definitely some things are working better than the other. Some matches are considered to be classic. We know for sure that wine can enhance food and food enhance wine to make that better product than separate ingredients. So we're going to discuss that in more greater details. Anyway, whatever you like, it comes down to you. But then there are some things which really, really do work. As one colleague of mine called Mark Altman, wine expert I never met, he said, food and wine pairing could be like sex and pizza. Even if it's bad, it still can be pretty good. So from top of my head, it comes like a wedding cake, very sweet wedding cake with a dry sparkling wine. And that's really one of the worst possible matches you can do. But luckily, nobody noticed that in those big weddings, because it's happy occasion and people have lots of drinks and they don't pay attention. But that's really not good. So pretty much it's very subjective, but some things are working better than the other. That's for sure. So what we want to do with wine and food, a long time ago, the main kind of recipe was meat with red wines with meat, white wines with fish. So now that's not really true, as we know that some red wines could be perfect match with fish. We can discuss that as well. So basically now it comes to 3 or 4 very important things which we're going to consider and talk about today. So please do use a chat box at the bottom to tell me where you are joining from, and or any chats you might have, and also the question button for any questions which we will discuss towards the end of this masterclass. So basically, for me, one of the most important things to be matched is body of the wine to be the same as body of the food. Now we have 2 options. We want either to complement what's in the wine with what's in the food, and that melts together and makes better product than separate ingredient, makes harmony, or we want opposites. And opposites do work. If you just think from top of your head, like Port and Stilton, you know, sweet, powerful wine with smelly blue cheese. That's opposite, and that's absolute classic. It does work, and it's fantastic thing. So, body of the wine needs to be matched with body of the food. So let me just start small presentation, and we're gonna go from there. So, body, main elements to consider in wine: body or weight. So that's for me almost the most important thing. But there's, as you can see over there on the screen, there's 3 more things which we might consider as well, like acidity, sweetness, and flavor intensity. So now, what's body of the wine? Body of the wine is considered to be like mouthfeel, impression you have when you taste wine. I do often, say time and time again, it reminds me of coffee. I am coffee drinker, so for me, like light-bodied coffee would be like white coffee, black coffee would be medium-bodied, and then double espresso, that would be full-bodied expression or mouthfeel I have in my mind. So you can apply those kind of things when you come to the wine. But we're going to have 6 wines to taste, and you're going to see what I mean. So what we want to do, we want that body of the wine is the same like body of the food. So one does not overpower the other, but makes harmony. So in reality, if you have full-bodied wine with light-bodied food, wine will overpower the food, and you will not want to taste much of the food, as wine will over-dominate. So we want same body of the both. Acidity, really important. Wine without acidity would be kind of really flat and boring, like grape juice. Acidity gives to the wines liveliness, freshness, but of course it should not over-dominate. If it's too much of that, that's not good as well. Sweetness and flavor intensity, very, very important things as well. So just to discuss what we actually can taste in the mouth. We can taste sweetness and saltiness, and center for that is very tip of our tongue, nowhere else in the mouth. Acidity we detect on the sides from inside the mouth. Imagine if you are biting a lemon. If you bite into the lemon, think a little bit about that, and you might start feeling a little bit of watering down from inside these sides, even if you're just imagining that. So that's acidity. Bitterness we detect at the very far back of the throat. And there's also 5th flavor called umami. Umami is, of course, introduced by Japanese. It is accepted today as a 5th flavor. Umami is considered to be described as several things coming together. So it's not like a single flavor. Umami is considered to be like a mixture of old cheeses like Parmesan, some mushrooms, meaty kind of flavory dishes. So umami can enhance that savory flavors in dishes, and lots of chefs today are trying to enhance food with all of these ingredients, and it's called umami, and it is accepted as a 5th flavor. So sweetness sweet wines, we're not going to discuss them today. We're going to have sweet wines and rosé wines next month as well. We have planned another 4 or 5 different master classes, and they're already on my website. So please do have a look when you can. And sweet wines and rosé wines we're going to address in next time masterclass. Flavor intensity. Some foods are really high in flavor intensity. If you think about exotic style of cuisine, if you think about Indian, Thai, Chinese, all of these foods are really, really high in intensity. So lots of people, when they consider that, when they go to, let's say, Chinese or Thai restaurant, they probably would want to go for beer. But actually, beer is not perfect matching partner with that type of the food. What beer does it just refreshes our palate before eating. What we want with wine, we want that wine enhance food and food enhance wine to make that special product, which is better than separate ingredients. So, so those 4 things are, in my mind, the key things in regards to the matching wine and food. So let's move on to the food. So food, really, it does not matter if your main ingredient is fish or meat or steak or vegetable. Really, what is important, what are dominating sauces and spices. Sometimes we do not want to match wine with main ingredient, but we're going to go to match wine with most dominating spices in the food. So if you think about, let's say, lightly grilled chicken breast with some light green salad, or if you think about chicken tikka masala, that's going to call for 2 completely different wines. As in chicken tikka masala spices would be dominating. Now, if your main dish is dominated by chilies, when I mean spices like cinnamon and others. When if your dish is dominated by chilies, then probably it's best to start with beer, because chilies are so dominating, it can numb your palate, and then only if it's too much, like in some Indian dishes, only some beer can help. Now, it's not only about dominating sauces and spices, or what is your main ingredient, it's also about way of cooking. So basically, the longer you cook your food, the more robust will become. During the winter months, we do lots of that. We do cook for long hours, a few hours, stews, meaty dishes, and basically they are really powerful, they are full-bodied. Lighter style of the cookings, steaming, wok, those types of food would be lighter in body and therefore would be requiring lighter bodied wines. So I will just now start with some wines. I have divided wines in 6 different categories, basically, just to let you know about what's important in wines, basically. So basically, sparkling wines or champagne. As you can see here on the right-hand side of the screen, sparkling wines and champagne are dominated with great acidity. There's green apple, there's green apple, there's lemon, there's some minerality here. In some champagnes, there could be yeasty, toasty, kind of biscuity flavors, thanks to those yeast being re-fermented and kept in touch with wine in the bottle. So basically, great acidity with champagne or sparkling wine. We can do both. We can match or we can contrast the food. On this picture here, you've seen one photo I used to, for the last 8-9 years, I was doing in Stone near Dubrovnik, famous Stone oysters. Usually we would be serving them with with lemon. So what we want great acidity wine, like sparkling wine or champagne, to be matched with lemon and oysters. And that works. That's one fantastic match. So hope you can hear me now, and hope you can see what I'm seeing. Everything is okay. Okay. So champagne and oysters, that's absolute classic dish. So it works. We know it works, as great acidity from champagne works really fantastic with lemon. But then also it can be done differently. It can contrast some food. If you think about, let's say, some creamy chicken, mushroomy, medium to heavy body dishes, we would go for creamy white wine, maybe oaked Californian Chardonnay, but also champagne or sparkling wine can work to cut and to make contrast to this creaminess and to the power, and that can work. Also, imagine now if we are basically having these oysters in a way like American people, lots of them have them, oysters Rockefeller. That's lots of Parmesan cheese on top of these fresh oysters, and they are just simply grilled under the grill. So champagne can work again as the contrast, but then it would be much better to match full-bodied red wine, to go with Parmesan cheese to check what's happening. So body or contrast. That's how it should work. So let's move on to the other wines. I'll just check. Okay, so crispy or crisp white wines. So I think today majority of the wines we enjoy, especially in summer months, will be crispy white wines. That means clean finish, mineral notes, lots of citrusy, grapefruity, lemony, limey taste. This is refreshing. And main grape varieties, as you can see here on the writing, are Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot Grigio, Chablis, which is of course Chardonnay, Albarino, Muscadet, Riesling. So that's all crisp, zesty white wines. So now acidity with acidity. On this picture here in the middle, you can see white fish, and you can see the topping is made out of the zest of lemon, capers, lemon juice, and really high in acidity. So any of these crisp white wines would really work magic with this type of the dish. And you can see here on the crisp white wines, green apple, lime, grapefruit, lemon, cucumber, minerals, and so on and so on. So mint as well. So it's really good match for that kind of acidic, light, crisp food as well in the summer. So now, soft white wines. So soft white wines, you can see here on the photos, are a little bit more powerful and not as crisp as the other ones previously. So you can see a little bit of melon here. You can see tropical fruits, still good acidity, but also you can see that those wines can have a bit of quince, a bit of stone fruits like peaches or apricots, pear, and flowers as well. So the floral aromas, mineral rich, more fruits, more exotic maybe, tropical fruits, and the main kind of white wines in these groups are Gewürztraminer, which I personally love very much, Chenin Blanc, Pinot Gris, Grüner Veltliner, and Pinot Blanc. So basically, again, depends on the style, but majority of these wine would be made in this kind of style, to be mineral rich, more fruity and floral, meaning young and aromatic. So flavor intensity I was talking about. So flavor intensity, basically, you need wine with high flavor intensity to match that type of the exotic cuisine like Thai or Indian. So here on this photo, you can see this is chicken curry, Thai chicken curry. And Gewürztraminer, I mean, I don't know, have all of you tasted Gewürztraminer? If you didn't, you should really. But dry Gewürztraminer can come in very sweet styles. Off dry, semi-sweet and sweet as well. But dry Gewürztraminer, when you smell that, you don't forget that smell. It's like smelling roses. It's like Turkish delight, lychees, tropical fruit. And then when matched with Thai food in particular, but it can work with any other exotic cuisine as well. It's just match made in heaven, really. So if you haven't tried that, you really should. It's really, really superb match. Let me just grab a little bit of water until we start tasting some wines and some food. Right, now we have rich white wines. Rich white wines, you can see on pictures of flavor profile, is toasty, butter or creamy, nutty, could be a little bit of stone fruits, peaches or apricots, orange, pear, herbs. So rich white wines means more body and more different kind of aromas, often with vanilla, which often comes from new oak barrels, from substance called vanillin from New York. Toasted nuts, tropical, and the best known grape varieties in this range are Chardonnay Viognier, Marsanne, Roussanne, that's famous Southern Rhone white grape varieties, and Semillon as well. So more body, more structure. So thinking about body of the wines, like rich white wines, this food here, that's a lobster risotto. Lobster risotto, creaminess. So we are matching creaminess with creaminess. We are matching, medium to full-bodied of the food with medium to full-bodied of the wine. Some oaked Chardonnay could be that way, and that's just a really good match, and that match makes harmony. So now moving on to the red wines. Again, I divided red wines in 3 different categories. It's easier to remember this way visually what they have in them and what kind of food we can think when we are coming to these different types of the wines. So juicy red wines, you can see here on the fruit flavor profile pictures, it's like plums, cherries, raspberries, dried cherries, pomegranate, minerals, and so on. So that's like simple, refreshing, lots of fruitiness, low amounts of tannins, and fairly good acidity. So I have added here fish. So wines like this, especially like a light Pinot Noir, can really work magic with fish. Wines like this could be chilled down towards white wines. Temperatures are really important in regards of the serving of the wines. White wines 10 to 12 degrees, red wines 16 to 18. But then lighter the red wine, like these juicy reds, more towards the white wines. So these wines I would be serving chilled, something around 14 degrees Celsius. So wines like this, slightly chilled in matching with fish, especially oily fish like tuna or salmon or mackerel, it's just fantastic match. On this photo here, I have chosen pasta with buffalo mozzarella and with lots of tomatoes. That's like typical Italian dish with lots of acidity. And these light red wines have good acidity as well. So this could be also perfect match. Smooth red wines, a little bit slightly different profile here that we have. It's like more like star anise, aromatic, vanilla, plums, blackberries, dark chocolate, peppers, black pepper, and some kind of flavor, some kind of aromatic smells in there. So spicy, earthy, supple and soft, lots of textured fruits. And in this group of smooth red wines, majority would be Merlot, different kind of types of Pinot Noir, Sangiovese, of course that's Chianti, Malbec, Tempranillo, and Grenache. So again, trying to match perfect food with that would be considering same body of the wine with same body of the food. This is duck breast in some cranberry sauce. And you can see with this flavor profile here that really should work perfectly well together, especially if you choose any of these wines here, which have medium plus body to match with something like this. I think that really can work and works in a good way. Now we are coming to the big boys, bold red wines. Flavor profile is cigar, toast, vanilla. And here you can see some truffle mushrooms as well, some spices, peppers, you know, lots of things. Intense, often full-bodied, often influence of oak in regards to the, you know, vanilla and other spices. And the main grape varieties in these groups are Cabernet Sauvignon, Syrah, Zinfandelo Plavac Mali, which you already know, most of you, Nebbiolo, which is Barolo, Mourvedre, and Sangiovese, Chianti again. So bold red wines. This is typical match for the bold red wines. What we want to do here, we want to match the full body wine, full body food, but also flavor profile. This is barbecue, char grilled, and we have here smokiness and toastiness, and we have also here the some kind of mushrooms on the side, and really that's just perfect match. So let's start tasting. If you are, probably I'm talking too much. Sorry about that. Let's just start tasting. And I suggest we start just to try. Hope you have a glass of water with you, because we're gonna go not in your usual order. We're gonna go a little bit different. Let's go to the wine number 6. If I can just turn that here. Maybe not. Yes, I'm getting there. So let's try this wine first. So this is the most powerful wine. It's a Dingach 2018. It's a big, powerful, let me just check, boy here. 16.5 in alcohol and dry. Made in old-fashioned way, 2 years in old oak barrels, not filtered. And it's obviously got all of the dark fruits and plants and prunes and all of that connected with big, bold Dingach. So now I have selection of cheeses here. And I hope that you have green apple. Let me just switch on the chart. So hope that you have green apple. Let's try firstly the wine. We always taste the wine first, little sip of that, just to check what's going on here. Tannins we detect on the gums. So we need to swirl a little bit the wine around to cover all these receptors of flavors in our mouth and to see what's happening. So yeah, it's a big, bold type of wine, which I like. It's powerful, it's fruity, it's interesting. So now let's see how acidity in wine, acidity in food works with powerful, robust red wine. If you have a piece of apple, that's good. If you don't have that, please grab a slice of lemon, just chew a little bit of that. Try the wine first to see what it's like without food, and then let's check how that works with green apple. Take decent piece, so you can a piece of the apple or lemon or lime, so you can cover all of your mouth. And let's check. Let's taste the wine now. Any comments For me, that's pretty horrible. I wouldn't want to finish a glass of this wine. Any comments? Have you tried? Have you tasted that? What do you think? So any comments? Not yet. Okay. So so I think it's pretty horrible. I think acidity from the food, really need acidity in wine to make that perfect match. Basically, this wine is low to medium acidic, but it's got lots of fruitiness and lots of tannins. So wine like this, it's full-bodied. This is light-bodied food with lots of acidity, and really, it doesn't work. It's really kind of not nice match. It's not gonna poison you, you're not gonna die, but this is not pleasant. So basically, it doesn't work really in a nice way. So let's try now, same wine, bit of water to, refresh your mouth, refresh your tastes. And now I have piece of Parmesan cheese here. Hope that you have some powerful cheese, mature cheddar or manchego or anything like that. And let's try piece of that, and let's retaste this wine, and let's see what you think. This is nice cheese. No, this is really good. This is really superb. Full-bodied wine, full-bodied food. Tannins loves proteins in this food. Proteins are found in mature cheeses or meat, mostly, and that's kind of magic combination. Tannins, proteins, full-bodied wine, full-bodied food. I think it really, really works fantastically well. Let me know what you think. Yes, Stephen Binch is saying, rich wine with licorice and chocolate with cheese, a dream. With cheese is absolutely a dream, but what do you think about apple? I think it's pretty horrible, but it's always good to taste. But with cheese, it just melts down, powerful cheese, full of taste, full of body, full of proteins. And this is powerful wine, lots of tannins, lots of everything. And that just melt together in a big, big way. So we are jumping around. We are not doing your usual tasting. So let's try, let's see now. Let's go to wine number one. Yeah, so wine number one was supposed to be Rukatats from Bura, but now I have changed that to Grgurevich Huve, which is dominated by Rukatats as well, but it's a blend between Poshit Rukatats and Grk. It's specifically made for the summer. It's light wine. So that's the label, light wine. Last year, well, 2018 actually, 12% of alcohol, and really it's made for the summer. So this would be wine in that first group of kind of zesty wines I was showing you before that. So definitely much better with mature cheddar. Andrew said that. For me, with mature cheddar or mature or Parmesan or any powerful cheese, it's just match made in heaven, which actually confirms this kind of things: full-bodied wine, full-bodied food, tannins, proteins, or with acidity, with really lemon or lime. It's not good. So let's try this wine. Firstly, with, if you have, again with mature cheese, with mature either cheddar or parmesan. So now this is light-bodied wine. This is light-bodied wine, and we have full-bodied cheese. So I don't think it's going to work, but then let's see how that works. Let's again taste the wine first, just to check what's going on there. Young, fresh, fruity, good acidity. My mouth is watering on the sides. And yeah, it's delicious. So let's again try a little bit of the mature cheese. I have again Parmesan here. Take decent amount so you are able to cover your mouth. And let's see how that should work. Okay. Wine is completely, in my case, with Parmesan cheese, completely over-dominated by cheese. It completely disappears. Almost, it's like water. So in my case here, cheese completely overpowers the wine. And that's not what we want. But yes, we do want that now for tasting, of course, just to check what's happening. So light-bodied wine, full-bodied food, obviously, in my view, doesn't work at all. But now I have a little bit of feta cheese here. So let's refresh the mouth again, and let's try the same wine with feta cheese. If you have some feta cheese or any young cheese. So let's try that. Bit of cheese, feta. Okay, here it goes. So now this is much better. Approximately the same body, light to medium body of the both food. Feta is a little bit salty, a little bit acidic. This wine have decent acidity, so really it makes it good match. Yeah, Stephen is saying feta makes it more creamy, exactly, better wine. So that's that harmony we are talking about that, about what's important really. So powerful cheese overpowers the light wine. So really no point in having really powerful food with light wines. We want light, medium, full-bodied, but also thinking about tannins, proteins, about flavor intensity, plus acidity. So now I have here, I don't know what kind of food you have, or what kind of food you have in your fridge. Maybe you can pop. I have here a piece of salmon, smoked salmon. I have a bit of spicy chorizo, but basically anything you have. Let's try and let's see how that goes with our next wine. So our next wine is Plavatsmali Grey. Plavatsmali Grey is completely different grape variety. It's not very much of that grown. It's mutation of Plavatsmali, and it's kind of pinkish color of the grapes, which is ideal for orange wine. So this is made in the style of the orange wine. Surely you have heard of orange wines. Orange wines are, let me just grab that and to see color. So that's Plavatsmali Sivi Buda orange wine, 2016. So let me pour the sample, and you can see it's pure orange color in a glass. So orange wine is new old style of the wine. Orange wines was produced long time ago, 6,000-7,000 years in specifically in Georgia. Generally, it would be produced in those big clay pots, huge ones, holding 3, 4, 5,000 liters of wines. They would be made. They would be using white grapes and using them in a way like to make red wine. So generally, white wines is made that you crush white grapes and skins are separated and juice fermented, and that's how it goes. But here, they would be for red wines, you crush the red grapes and you keep skins in touch with juice before fermentation, during fermentation, and sometime after fermentation as well. Draw lots of things from that. And this is done in red wine making method, keeping white grapes, skins and all for a long time. Sometimes macerations and fermentations for these wines can go for months. And hence the orange color, it has nothing to do with orange as a fruit, except the color, and that comes from the grapes, but also from the skins, from that way of wine making. So they are making now waves. Biggest producers today are now Italians, Croats, and also in Slovenia, especially Gorička Brda region. So this is very unique style of the wine. It's not your typical wine. It's kind of sommeliers love those kind of wines because this is product which produce something completely different. These wines got lots of body, lots of structure, a lot of secondary aromas, and they could be paired with more powerful food, with even meaty dishes. So let's taste a little bit of that, and let's think what kind of food we can pair this wine with. Well, this is completely different style of the wine. It's quite unique. It's got some fruitiness, but also it's got lots of secondary aromas. It's got good body, medium acidity, but it's quite that skin contact for a long time during fermentation has changed this wine completely. So this is for me like medium plus. It's not full bodied, but it's getting there. It's medium plus wine. So I'm thinking smoked salmon. If you have smoked salmon, let's try a piece of that. If not, if you have any sausage maybe or something like that, try what you can, what you think, you know. But I'm thinking about medium to full-bodied food to match with this wine. The smoked salmon is delicious. It needs to be decent bite. Food needs to cover our mouth, to cover all receptors of flavors, and then to be matched with wine together. For me, it works. It really works. Wine becomes better. Final product becomes harmonious. It's really kind of unique way. It's much better than individual orange wine and smoked salmon. I think really works much better. What do you think? Let me know. Okay. Right. Just to prepare my glass for the next wine. A bit of water. Water is good for us. Cabanas. Cabanas is delicious. Yes, Steven is saying that. Cabanas is a bit of smoky, it's got good body, almost full-bodied wine, and softens the wine. Yes, and wine, in my view, I think becomes much better. So a bit of water. Okay, my glass is ready for the next wine. So let's check what we have. We have Malvasia from Istria Peninsula, Slovenian side. And this wine has been kept macerated with skins in cold maceration before fermentation for 3-4 days. Just draw a little bit of that, and then a little bit of power and structure, and then skins have been separated. When fermentation has been finished, Walter Sehic, a winemaker who made this wine, has kept this wine on its lees for 9 months. So that's to add body, that's to add structure, that's to add kind of different flavors and aromas into this wine. It's kind of interesting, really interesting wine. So let's see. Let's taste the wine first. Let's assess what's in it. Let's assess body, and then let's see what kind of food possibly could be perfect for this wine. So this is 2017 Malvasia, and it's I found this wine quite intriguing, quite interesting, really unusual. Yeah, it's not flavors of aromatics and flowers. It's something else. It's smoky. It's kind of nutty, different, very different wine. This method of wine making, keeping skins in touch before fermentation, and then keeping after fermentation wines on its own lees or dead yeast for some time, has added body and structure, but also some really interesting elements to this wine. So this is, again, in my view, medium-bodied wine, medium plus. So any medium-bodied plus food should work with this wine. Acidity, it's again medium. It's not very high, but it's there. So basically, I'm thinking again salmon, but now I have spicy chorizo. So let's try spicy chorizo. Is full body. This is medium plus. Let's see, will that work? But you can really try whatever you have on your plate, and try to think about medium body, medium acidity, and you know, all of the things we talked about. And let me know what you're having, and let me know how that works. Again, it's not working very well. This is spicy chorizo for me. Spicy chorizo, lots of spiciness, a bit of chili, more of body than this wine. So really, this is medium-bodied, interesting wine. It doesn't work with spicy, powerful sausage on the end of the day. It's overpowered. Harmony is not there. It's just not working for me. What I'm thinking about this wine, again, I'm thinking about smoked salmon. I'm gonna check that combination in a second, just to grab a bit of water to refresh my palate. And now I have one more piece of smoked salmon. I'm gonna check that out as well. Right, delicious salmon. Now this is perfect. This is absolutely perfect match. Wine like this, with this body, with this secondary aromas, with bit of smokiness, with kind of savoriness, with smoky salmon, not too much, just lightly smoked salmon. It changes drastically. Wine becomes so much better than on its own, and salmon becomes also better in that combination in the mouth. It's for me one of the perfect match. I don't know what you are having. If you have smoked salmon to try with this wine, please do try it. I think it's outstanding match. I think it's delicious. I hope I'm not rushing you too much. Let me know. Refreshing my glass again. It's not wine, but I need to take off the wine from the glass. Okay. So, any comments here? Any good or bad matches? Not yet. Okay. So, let me know if this is too fast for you or not, and then we will slowly move towards other two wines to taste. So, we have two red wines more to taste. Plavatsmali, both of them are Plavatsmali. This is Milos. It's here. It's 2016. Milos is a very well-known winemaker on Pelješac Peninsula in Croatia. This wine is, let me check, 13% of alcohol by volume. Yeah, alcohol always adds to the body of the wine. Alcohol is one ingredient. The more alcohol in wine, the more body to it. So adds basically to the wine. So that's a good indication if you have higher alcoholic wine that you know it's going to be very, very likely fuller-bodied wines in regards to the wine and food matching. Really. So wines like this, really, they need proteins. So one thing which popped to my mind now is two different things. If you have okay, so Victor is saying enjoy Malvasia with split pea dip. Split pea dip, Greek fava. Okay, that sounds good. That pea dip should be medium bodied. I don't know what other ingredients you put into there, spices, but it should be interesting match. Yeah, yeah. Malvasia with salmon is, I think, just perfect match. Tiffany said she enjoyed that. So basically, wines like this, the powerful, robust, full-bodied red wines. If you think about meat, about, let's say, lamb chops, if you just make basic lamb chops char-grilled, and then from the char grilling, it's going to be a little bit burnt and smoky and all of that, and you have oaked, aged red wine, basically it's fantastic match. But then if you add to the lamb chops just a little bit of rosemary dip, what pops to the mind? In my mind, immediately it's Cabernet Sauvignon. It's not any red wine, powerful red wine, it's Cabernet Sauvignon. Because some of the Cabernet Sauvignons can have that rosemary kind of aromatic secondary things, so interesting kind of things. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. So let's try this Plavatsmali. Plavatsmali, 13% of alcohol. So in my view, that would be putting this wine in the kind of medium plus bodied wine, aged 2 years in oak barrels and 2 years in bottle. Before old oak barrels, they use only old oak barrels, this family, Milos. And this wine has been aged for additional 2 years in bottle before being released. This is the starting range of the wine. So let's check this wine, and let's think which kind of food could be good with this wine. This is still young wine, lots of tannins. They're not unpleasant. It dries your gums and part of the tongue. That drying sensation, that's tannins, and really is there, lots of that. So here it's got dark fruits, minerals, herbal sage notes. It's kind of complex. I think it's more than medium body. Medium plus maybe, but it's got also refreshing acidity, which is generally not connected with red wines. Lots of tannins. Tannins do need some fat, or maybe even better, not fat, but proteins. Fat, if you have really fatty food, then you would need acidity in wine. Champagne can cut to the fattiness of the food fantastically well because of that brisk, fantastic acidity. But lots of tannins needs proteins, needs meaty, cheesy, powerful, full-bodied dishes. So tannins, proteins makes that fantastic match. So if you have, let's retaste this wine again. Let's check for tannins. Tannins, gums. Let's try to cover gums like this. So really, that's the center for tannins. If you do this, you'll see there's enormous amount of tannins in this wine. That's typical for Clavat Mali. It's got thick skins, and tannins comes from the skins of the grape. It's lots of it. It's not unpleasant to knock you down. It's not green, so-called, but it's lots of that. But now, if you still have a little bit of that, whichever cheese you have, fuller body, Parmesan, matured cheddar, or whatever, try again a piece of that, and let's check again how that works. Or that Habanos can do maybe, just to check how that works. Now, really, tannins almost disappear. Wine becomes fruitier, less tannic. Cheese becomes soft, and everything really, really works magic. And that's full body, tannins, proteins combination. So let me know what combination you are tasting and what you think about that. Serrano ham, Tiffany is saying works well with Serrano ham. Yes, Serrano ham, Parma ham, mature cheeses, that's all good source of proteins and tannins in wine like this. Even though it's 4 years of old, they're getting softer and smoother over a period of time. Works in a really, really good way. A little bit more water. Comte, Emily is saying Comte. Comte cheese is powerful. It's full-bodied, and it should be really, really good match with Comte cheese. Yeah. Okay. Right. One more wine to taste before we move on to the questions. So Postup is Yeah, it's here. So Postup is second best known vineyard in Croatia after Dingač, really. So Dingač is considered to be the best location, the most extreme vineyard in the country, but Postup is extension. It's on the same Pelješac Peninsula and really extends from where Dingač finishes towards Korčula Island. Postup starts, and it's not as steep as Dingač, slightly less, but still nevertheless quite steep, but not extremely steep like Dingač. And this guy is making biodynamic wines, so no intervention in the cellar, no adding anything, just natural ways. And he owns quite extreme location in Postup Vineyard. So this is Plavac Mali 2017. It's got 15% alcohol by volume, and it's absolutely delicious wine. Let me try again something happened here. I lost some updating was going on actually, so let me see how do I fix that. Okay, let me just see. Okay. Something happened. There was, yeah. Okay, let me check. Yes, it's good. It's good. There was some updating on the computer, and then everything went somewhere, but it's back again. So basically, this is the quite natural, organic, biodynamic winemaking method. 2017, very extreme location, and let's try this wine. Let's assess what's in there, and let's see what possible dishes we can match with wine like this. This is delicious wine. I'm going to reread what I wrote initially when I tasted this wine a few months back. Good balance, cherry and dark berries on the nose. Good tannins, soft tannins compared to Miloš Plavac Mali. It's very soft and pleasant and gentle, not kind of harsh and green. Cherry and dark berries on the nose, yeah. Plum, jam, spices, dark chocolate, concentrated, good. Yeah, I think that really tells everything. So wine like this is a full-bodied wine. It's kind of acting like pleasant, balanced, harmonious, but you know, no mistake there. That's full-bodied wine. It would need full-bodied food. It's actually got good refreshing acidity as well. It's not high. It's medium. This wine comes from the hot climate, so yeah, it's delicious wine. It would need full-bodied food. It would need something like cherries and dark berries, plummy spices, dark chocolate. So it can go with variety of the food, but basically a full-bodied steak, char grilled with some spices, maybe dried rosemary or dried, oregano, something like that on top of it, and wine like this. I think that would be just perfect match, not overcomplicated. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna try this wine with this spicy chorizo again, which didn't work with that white wine. Stephen said the previous wine reminds So the previous wine, like bit of port, a little sweetness. Well, this is dry wine, the Plavac Mali, completely dry wine. But people are often confused with sweetness. I'll continue there, just try this. That works really, really well. So both of these wines, last two red wines, are completely dry wines. We can't smell sweetness. Sweetness is detected in our mouth, tip of the tongue, over there. Yes, apple is no. That's we tasted with first with dingach, and that's absolute no. It doesn't work. So sweetness is kind of detected on the tip of the tongue. So if you are in any doubt, this wine is it has touch of sweetness. If you dip your finger there, touch your tip of the tongue. If there's any sweetness, it will be detected right there. But then lots of people could be very easily tricked by fruitiness. You know, when you smell that, reminds you of some cake or something, and say, oh, smells sweet. But actually, sweetness could be detected only in the mouth. Both of these last two red wines are completely dry, but they both have lots of fruitiness, which is kind of tricky to detect. Okay, so let's move on. We are a little bit longer. Hope you have time for that. I'm going to stop sharing this, and let's see if you have any questions to ask. Let me just check where the questions are. Questions, answers. So far I don't see any, but I am open to questions. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Let me see how we're doing with time. We are slightly over today, but it's Saturday, so really it doesn't matter. I hope you did enjoy that. Our next tasting would be tomorrow, actually, just introduction to wine tasting at same time, 6 o'clock. So if you want to refresh your memory, really, you can join me tomorrow with any wine you have. Sweet cherries, Emily is saying sweet cherries and raisins. Apple is no, we have dingach. What's my thoughts on dingach? Well, apple is no, but yeah, cherries and raisins and plums and dried fruits, that's kind of good description on dingach. But apple with dingach doesn't work at all. So Victor is saying we are having mushroom risotto tonight. Which would you recommend? So mushroom creams, I suppose you're going to put a little bit of butter or cream in there. So that would be medium-bodied wine, medium-bodied food. So now, medium-bodied food, medium-bodied wine here. You can go with two of them. Actually, you can go with orange wine, or you can go with this medium-bodied Plavac Mali. Yeah. So mushroom risotto, it's definitely medium-bodied, so you would need medium-bodied wine to make that fit. But if you're going to put lots of creaminess, you're going to need, probably it's going to be better with orange wine than anything else. But also Malvasia is medium-bodied. That can work as well. So yeah, so tomorrow you can join me again. It's Introduction to Wine. If you want to refresh your memory about basics, about different styles of the wines, about what's important in regards to the wines and food and the climate and terroir, what would French say. We're going to discuss all of that. You can grab any wine you like, and that would be okay. I have planned again for the 18th of July, one really interesting thing. It's called wine and music pairing. So can music influence taste of wine? I think it can. So we have 4 senses so far, but there is kind of 5th kid on the block. We have sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of touch, but also we have sense of hearing. So I have specifically designed wine and music pairing, and I think that's going to be quite interesting as well. So that's on the 18th of this month, but there's a few others already on my website, so please do check that. You know, all of these wines you've tasted, of course, you can order them. They're all for sale. Let me see here on the chats. Thank you, Stephen. I'm glad you enjoyed the evening. Emily said, do many Croatian wines get exported? This year, yes. Before that, no. Before that, most of that was drinked completely in Croatia because tourism was really high. Last year, we had 20 million tourists. So Croatian didn't need to export, but this year they do need. So I'm importing wines in UK now. So that's a good sign. It's getting more and more exported. So let me check question here. Tiffany is asking, all very interesting, thank you. Where can the Walter Sehic Malvasia be easily obtainable? On my website, yes. I do sell all of these wines. You can order 1 bottle, you can order 3 or 6 or anything, and that's good. So yeah, check my website. There are prices. There's also all details about wines. So slightly over time. Hope you enjoyed it. And then yeah, keep practicing, keep trying, keep tasting this and that and see what you like. But basically these few things are very important. Body, acidity, flavor, intensity are really, really important. So think of that, not about anything else. So let me just check a few final things. Andrew is saying, thanks, always something new to learn. Well, Andrew is one of my really long-standing clients. He's been on all of my tours and now he's following me here as well. Thank you for joining me, and glad you're enjoying it. And Victor said, great night. Thank you all. And yeah, thanks very much. And I hope to see you maybe tomorrow, if not maybe for the wine and music pairing and others. And yeah, have a all really good rest of the evening, and check my website. Thanks, and see you soon.